Hello and welcome to Dirlam's Dirty Dugout on June 3rd. It's finally Friday and NBA Finals Game 2 last night. We're going to do a quick wrap-up analysis and talk about the loss for the Heat, the collapse. They were leading by 15 points and just fell apart in the final 7 minutes. We're going to go over how that all kind of took place and what this means for the Heat and Mavericks series going forward. So we'll start. Most of the action took place in the second half. Everything tied at 51 at halftime, so everything was pretty much back to square one to start the second. Dwayne Wade had a big first half, and the Miami Heat just picked up where they left off, except for Dallas. They started turning it over in the second half, and the Miami Heat ended up finishing the game 31 points off turnovers. That was big, and that's how Miami erupted out to that 15-point lead. And it looked like the dagger shot might have been taken with about 7 minutes left to go. Dwayne Wade, right in front of the Dallas Maverick bench, caught a pass from Mario Chalmers along the baseline and just knocked down a clutch three deep in the corner. With 7:13 left, Dallas called a timeout. LeBron came over and questionably started celebrating a little bit right in front of the Dallas bench, just mock punching Dwayne Wade right in front of the Mavericks, and Jason Terry kind of took exception to that and jawed back, the game isn't over. And I'm pretty sure everybody was kind of ignoring him up to that point until about there was 3 minutes left, and Dallas had made it a game. They'd cut the lead down to 4 off a Jason Terry shot. That was part of a Dallas run that was 20-2. They outscored the Heat during a stretch going into the final minute, and Dallas actually, after being down 15, were able to take the lead 93-90 off a Dirk Nowitzki 3 with just over a minute to go. Then just a few seconds later, the Heat get the ball back after a timeout. LeBron inbounds the ball to a wide-open Mario Chalmers. In the same corner, Dwayne Wade hit that 3 earlier right in front of the Mavericks bench. And Chalmers, who has hit some big threes for Miami this postseason to kind of lock up some games, get him some key points, and as remember, he's famous for hitting that 2009 three-pointer in the 2009 National Championship game against Memphis to hit the game-tying three-pointer that sent that game into overtime that Kansas eventually went on to win over the undefeated Memphis Tigers. But back to the moment, Chalmers knocks down the 3 with just over, I think it was 24 seconds left, and all of a sudden, it's tied back up at 93 apiece. So the final play, and this is where a lot of the controversy took place last night. Dallas, about 7 seconds left to run the play after Jason Kidd held the ball at the top. The Miami Heat had a foul to give, and the matchup, Bosh on Dirk. And that was the questionable call. Many people have kind of questioned Erik Spoelstra putting Chris Bosh on Dirk Nowitzki, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know who was going to be better to guard Dirk in that final minutes. Bosh had not played on Dirk in the entire game, so maybe it would have been kind of throwing Dirk off a little bit, a new defender, seeing maybe how he was going to move by him. Plus, Dirk, some people said they should have put Haslam on him, but Dirk made a couple of shots in those final few minutes right over Udonis Haslam. And Joel Anthony, he's kind of struggled with Dirk for the series, so I have no problem, I don't think, with Erik Spoelstra putting Chris Bosh on Dirk Nowitzki. It just didn't work out as Bosh got burned pretty bad. Didn't make his coach look so good for putting him on him. Another thing that was kind of controversial in those final minutes and how the game should have been handled, should Miami have fouled? Should they have fouled Dirk as soon as he caught the basketball? In principle, it's a great idea. I mean, Dirk caught it with 7 seconds left, and he even admitted he went a little bit early because he thought Bosh was going to foul. But I'm going to be honest, that's just something where you're going to have to hedge your bets. Either you're going to have to try and get the foul on the pass, which in the final few seconds of a game, those referees hesitant to call anything unless it's excessively hard contact, and even then you can get a flagrant foul. So if you were going to foul, I would think it would have had to been on the pass to Dirk when he caught it. But then you take a chance of, you try and go for the steal, wrap him around at least to get the foul. Then all of a sudden, Dirk goes by you if they don't call the foul, and he's got a dunk. Also, if you try and foul him immediately. Maybe Dirk was thinking, hey, if this guy's going to try and reach in, I'm just going to catch this thing, turn around because he's probably going to try and foul me. Then all of a sudden it becomes either a two-shot foul to put him on the line to win the game, or he makes it and it's a three-point play. So I don't have a problem either with Spoelstra choosing not to foul. This is just a case where it just didn't work out. And in hindsight, maybe he could have done something different, but I don't think that the blame should be shouldered on Erik Spoelstra for this loss because the Miami Heat just collapsed as a team. They got selfish one-on-one basketball. They started taking just ridiculous jump shots, not going to the basket, not including Dwayne Wade in the game, who was 13 for 20 with 36 points and didn't hardly touch the ball with a chance for a shot in the final few minutes of the game. That is just inexcusable. And Spoelstra burned some timeouts. They said he didn't have a timeout left, but he burned those timeouts to try and stop that 22-2 Dallas run that his players just didn't seem to take seriously enough. So I'm going to put the blame for this loss. A lot of people put on Erik Spoelstra for that last play. I'm going to put the blame on the players, LeBron James especially. And I'm a big LeBron James fan, but in this instance, LeBron James took too many selfish jump shots late in the game, didn't go to the basket. They waited till the end of the shot clock, got just terrible shots. And if you go and watch the highlights, these shots are absolutely terrible. But we're going to wrap up, I think. Should Miami Heat fans panic? Absolutely not. We got a 1-1 series, and I think if I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan, I'm not all too excited, even though they got that win last night. Look, the Miami Heat, the big three, they didn't play as well as they could have. LeBron James only had 20 points. Bosh only had 12 on 4 of 16 shooting. I can assure you Chris Bosh is not going to go 4 of 16 again the rest of the series, and he's not going to be hampered down that much. LeBron James, 20 points. That's an extremely quiet night for him, especially 2 points in the fourth quarter. But they did get big games from Dwayne Wade, 36 points. Mike Bibby, 14 points. Mario Chalmers, but Udonis Haslem was held kind of quiet with just 2 points, and so was Mike Miller not scoring. Meanwhile, on the other side, Dirk with 24 points. Jason Terry with 16. Sean Marion with 20. Tyson Chandler with 13. I've talked all along. I know it's not been on this blog. I just put it up, but I've been saying since the beginning of the series it's going to be the same thing as the Chicago series. You know Dirk Nowitzki's going to score, just as the Heat knew Derrick Rose was going to score. The thing is, you're going to need at least 2 more scorers to be able to beat Miami. And last night, Dallas had it. They had Sean Marion with 20 points, and I had said Jason Terry, Chandler, they're going to have to combine for around 20 points, or at least get 20. Somebody's going to have to get 20 and then chip in a few more. They combined for 29 points last night, and still, they were only able to eke out a 2-point win despite them just shutting Bosh down for the entire game, shutting Haslem down. And, I got to be honest, that's just the Miami Heat. They struggle when the big three don't score. But once those guys get over 65 combined points, which they did not last night, they had 68 points. Once they get over 75 points, I don't think they've lost a game this year when those three guys, they've only lost a couple of times when they've gotten over 65. But when the big three have gotten over 75 points, they haven't lost a single game this entire year. So if I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan right now, I'm still kind of worried because they had the best games last night from those guys that needed to score, Jason Terry, Sean Marion, Tyson Chandler, but they still needed an absolute collapse from Miami, who dominated this in the entire beginning 41 minutes of the game. That's not going to put me at ease, and I think Miami is still going to end up winning this series. They're going to take one in Dallas, but for the near future, I don't think this is going to affect the Heat going forward. This is just a late game collapse where they just got too complacent, too showboaty, taking photo op 3-pointers, as Chris Broussard had said this morning on ESPN, and I don't think that's going to happen again. This is going to be a big lesson for the Miami Heat, and I still think that they are the favorite in this series. I think they're going to go home I think they're going to go to Dallas, and they are going to be able to steal at least one there. They might be able to take 2. I wouldn't discount them on the road. That's all pretty much from the game last night. Once again, final score, Dallas 95, Miami 93. Dallas uses a 20-2 run to top the Miami Heat in Game 2 of the NBA Finals in Miami to even the series at 1 apiece. Dirk Nowitzki with the final 9 points for Dallas. And once again, this has been Zach Dirlam in Dirlam's Dirty Dugout.